to your video lesson for the week. So we are going to begin our work with the song In My Life by the Beatles, and in this particular video we are going to be mostly just focusing in on the intro riff that is played at the beginning of the song. What I really like about this song, in addition to it being a cool guitar piece, is that a lot of the work that we have done with our movable chord shapes, also known as bar chords, it's going to sort of, the song sort of brings all of that together. So for this video, we're going to first look at the chord shapes, really just two chord shapes that we use to play that intro riff, and then in the second part, we're going to actually break down the phrasing and the picking that we need in order to play that intro riff. So, let's jump into it. The two chord shapes that we use in this song are an A chord, which we are playing up on the 5th fret, and an E chord, which we play up on the 7th fret. I'm going to introduce these chord shapes though by backing us up a little bit. We were introduced to the F chord bar shape. This meant that we have our index finger all the way across our 1st fret, holding down all 6 strings, giving us a low F on that 6th string, and then we sort of create this E chord shape on top of that, meaning ring finger is on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, pinky finger is on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and middle finger is on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So this is our F chord. And one of the most important things that I mentioned when we first learned this chord is that this is a movable shape. That means as we move it up the neck, we get a different chord shape. And what the name of that chord shape is all based off of whatever the low note on the 6th fret is. So if we have our F chord shape, I'm going to start us there. I'd like you to play your F chord by putting your index finger across that 1st fret, getting into your full F bar chord shape. We're going to move that up 1/2 step to make it an F sharp. We're going to keep going. We're actually going to go all the way up to this 5th fret. 3rd fret is a G. Move it up so that our index finger is now on the 4th fret, and we have a G sharp. And one more fret puts us here on our A chord shape. Now this is a full barred A chord shape. It allows us to play all 6 strings and get a nice full sound from this chord. This is the chord that we are using in the beginning of In My Life. However, we don't need all of those low notes of the chord. So this is a little bit of a relief to you. It means that we don't need the full barred F chord. All we need are the first 2 strings, which we're holding down together on the 5th fret. We will need our middle finger to stay where it is on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. And instead of us using our pinky finger on the 7th fret of string 4, we're going to put our ring finger there and just give our pinky finger a break. Now your bar, we can shorten it. So this is very similar to the F major, the smaller F chord that we played earlier in our practice. Our index finger, we're just using the side, and it's holding down the 1st and 2nd string both on the 5th fret. From there, you're taking your middle finger and putting it on the 6th fret of string 3, and your ring finger is on the 7th fret of string 4. So you're only holding down 4 strings. This is your A chord. This is the first chord shape that we need for the song. From there, we're going to move up to an E major. Our E major chord is played, if we play a full E major chord, then our index finger is across the 7th fret, and it's holding down 5 of our 6 strings. So your index finger is right there at that 5th string, 7th fret. You are welcome to stretch all the way across and hold down all 6 strings if that's more comfortable for your hand. However, when you strum, you would only strum from that 5th string, because that is where our E root note is, the note that gives this chord its name. In addition to our full bar being across our 5 strings on the 7th fret, we're going to use our mini bar. That means that our ring finger is holding down 3 strings. it's going to reach over, I should say, first it reaches up all the way to the 9th fret. And then it's going to hold down the 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string on its own. You do have to sort of invert your knuckle. Lift up your ring finger as much as you can so that you still have that 1st string open. So it's not held down or your ring finger's not interfering with it at all. Now this is your your barred E chord. The E chord shape, to refresh your memory, is stemming off of our barred B chord. If we play that same shape all the way down here on our 2nd fret, we know that this is our B chord because our index finger is holding down the 2nd fret of our 5th string, which is a B note, and we have our mini bar there on top. If we move this B chord, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, 7th fret, E. It puts us up there on our E chord. So in this intro, all we're doing is bouncing back and forth from our A chord, which stems off of that F major bar chord shape, and our E chord, which stems off of our B chord shape. We're going to try to strum those 2 chords back to back just to give you a feel of their change. So we're going to start with the A chord. You can use its shortened version, and we're going to strum it for 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 1, 2. Now up to your E major. Bar on that 7th fret, half bar on the 9th fret. Strum it for 2 beats. 3, 4. Right back to your A chord. 1, 2. Up to your E major. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to work inside of those chord shapes to create that little intro riff. We're starting in our A chord, and we have an open A string that we're going to play. Our 5th string, played open, is our A note, which works as a root for this particular position for A. We're going to keep your fingers in their finger-picking position, and with your thumb we're going to pluck the A string, string 5, as your index finger also plucks the 3rd string. As soon as we play string 5 and string number 3 together, we're going to follow it with your ring finger playing that high E string. Then we return to string number 3, and we're going to play a hammer-on. You're currently in position on that 6th fret of string 3. You're going to play it, or strike the string, with your index finger, and as soon as you play it, you're going to hammer your ring finger down on the 7th fret. So we have our 5th and 3rd string together, high E string, hammer on 3rd string, 6 to 7. And end that phrase with an open E string. So because that 1st string is open, you are welcome to leave that A chord position as you transition into your E. So let's try that little phrase right there on the A chord before we move on to our E. We're playing the 5th and the 3rd together. High E string with your ring finger. Index finger plays the 3rd string. Hammer on, 6 to 7. Right back to an open E. Now once you hit that open E, we're going to transition into our barred E chord. So as quickly as you can, you want to get that index finger down across the 7th fret, but more importantly, your ring finger needs to be down across the 9th fret of both your 2nd and 3rd string, because those are the 2 notes that will end our phrase. Once you strike those 2 strings, string 2 and 3 in the E chord, you're going to use your thumb to hit the low E string, string number 6, and then sort of bounce back and use your index finger and middle finger to play your 3rd and 2nd string. So that whole phrase, starting with the A chord, we play our 5th and 3rd string together, high E, hammer on, open high E, E chord, low E note, 6th string, and then drop down to that 3rd and 4th string.